ladies.
Hi, girls.
Welcome to Honors Chemistry. I'm Mrs. Kemphouse,
And I'm Mrs. Rose.
and we made a video for you to help you with your summer assignment and learn some of the things we're going to talk about this year in chemistry.
So let's get started and do some math.
All right, let's do some math. I want you to calculate how many cookies are in 5.6 dozen cookies. How would you do that? I think in math class you would have learned already that you would just take 5.6 times 12 because 1 dozen is equal to 12. And I did that, it equals 67.2 cookies. That's a lot of cookies. But I want to show you a different way that we'll set it up in chemistry class. It's called dimensional analysis. And initially it might seem kind of silly to do the calculations like this. However, it'll be really helpful in the future. I'm going to start with the 5.6 dozen cookies, and I'm going to make this a fraction, and I'm going to put it over 1. I'm going to multiply it by another ratio, and this ratio is also going to be, it's going to be equal to 1. Hey, Miss Rose, what's 5 times 1?
5.1.
Yeah. 5. So what's 5.6 times 1 going to be? 5.6. We do not want to change the value of the cookies that we have. We want to keep it consistent, keep it with the 5.6 dozen. So I'm going to multiply it by a ratio that's equal to 1. I'm going to write a dozen down here. And if I have a dozen here and a dozen here, those 2 units will cancel out.
Wait a minute, is that cross multiplication you're doing?
Exactly.
No, that's not cross multiplication, is it?
Boy, she's good. So the dozen will cancel out, and I want to go to cookies. And I know that in 1 dozen cookies, there are 12 cookies. And like I said, the dozen will cancel out and we'll be left with cookies. The way that I would plug this into my calculator, I would take 5.6 divided by 1, but I don't really need to type that in because it's just going to be itself, times the 12 divided by the 1, which I don't need to type in. So 5.6 times 12, and we already mentioned that's 67.2 cookies. The process of using this ratio is called dimensional analysis.
How many inches are in 3.1 miles? I bet it's more than 3 inches, right? So common sense is kind of important so that when you get an answer, it doesn't make sense. This is kind of easy to do when you're in the realm of measurements that we're used to, right? You know, miles and inches. What if we go into some other unit? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So here we've got 3.1 miles. Well, the first thing that we're going to have to do, we're in miles and we've got to go to inches. I guess we got to convert miles to something first. And we're not going to Google this. We're not going to Google this. So we're going to take 3.1 miles. How many feet are in a mile, Miss Kemphouse? Do you know? All right, so 5,280. So, what's my given? 3.1. 3.1 miles. Boy, this pen is hard to work. 3.1 miles. We're trying all kinds of new things, girls, so I hope you're on board with trying new things. This is our first combined video. We're hoping for what's it called when you win a movie award? Yeah. We're going for that. All right, so 3.1 miles, you put your given over 1. Okay, so this must be my given, 3.1 miles. Okay, so I'm going to take 3.1 miles and I'm going to multiply it by a ratio. That's a multiply. We used a dot. I guess they mean the same thing. And so how many feet did you say? 5,080 feet are in 1 mile. Well, because when you multiply and divide, you want the units that are in common to cancel out. So that, it makes it easier. So notice your miles are going to cancel miles, right? And then we're in feet now. And now we know which way to go next. So we can go and the next thing, well, gosh, what's the next conversion factor, girls? I bet you already know, right? So foot, 12 feet, 1 inch. Is that right? No. This too, don't I? Okay, so 1 foot, 12 inches. Come on. 12 inches. Yeah. Now all I have to do is, oh, wait a minute, let's cancel these things. I like it when things cancel because that helps me keep track. And then I can do a sign. So what's the final answer, Miss Campbell? Well, 3.1 times 5,280 times 12, and then we're dividing by 1, divided by 1, so we don't have to do that part. Whoa, that's a big number. That makes sense that it's a big number because it's, you're converting. Okay, I'm going to write it down here. 1,000. Inches. Oh yeah, without the unit, it wouldn't be correct, would it? We don't know. What if we were going to centimeters? We'd have another step, right? All right. Well, we're not going to do that for this problem. This is enough.
All right, since you guys are so good at that one, we're going to do one that's a little bit more challenging. Let's read the question. It says, if red light has a wavelength of 700 nanometers, how long is that in meters? Here is what we're given, the 700 nanometers. Nanometers, have you ever heard of that unit before? It is a metric unit and it has a prefix nano. I'm sure you've heard of a meter before, but let's start with the number that we're given. 700 nanometers. And remember, we decided we're always going to put it over 1. I'm going to multiply it by a ratio that's equal to itself. So I'm not changing the value of the 700, I'm just changing the unit. I know that I want to put nanometers on the bottom because I want those to cancel out. And I want to convert nanometers to meters. Now we have to figure out what does nanometer mean in terms of how many meters there are. Here is a very important chart of the metric conversions and what the prefixes mean. It has the prefix abbreviation and also the prefixes power using scientific notation. Hopefully you're familiar with scientific notation. If I look for nano, I see it right here, and there's the N for the nanometer, and it means 10 to the negative 9th power. So over here, I have written down that 1 nanometer then is equal to 10 to the negative 9th meters.
Wait a minute, before you go further, does that mean a meter or a nanometer is bigger?
A meter is bigger. There are 10 to the negative 9th meters in 1 nanometer.
Oh, so it would take just a little itty bitty part of a meter.
Tiny, tiny bit.
That equals a nanometer.
Yes. Okay. Haven't you ever heard, I'll be back in a nanosecond? That's a short amount of time. So since I know that 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the negative 9th meters, I'm going to put my 1 right here by the prefix nano. And remember, nano is 10 to the negative 9th. So I'm going to put 10 to the negative 9th power on the top. And really what that means is 1 times 10 to the negative 9th power. That's important for when you plug it into your calculator. Now we need to figure out how we can put this calculation into our calculator. So first I want you to type 700 in your calculator. and then hit the times button. And then to put in this scientific notation, there's a very handy button on your calculator. It's down at the bottom and it's by the letter A. It is a double E button. I think it stands for exponent. I think that's what it stands for. So you're gonna hit, you got 700 and then hit times and then put the 1 for this one right here. And don't hit times 10. The EE button takes care of the times 10. Just hit the EE button. And so your calculator should look like this. It should have the 700 that you typed in, then times, and then a big E shows up. It doesn't, oh shoot, yeah, there's a 1 here. We typed in that 1. Sorry, thank you. And then the E. And what that E is saying is, what's the exponent? And our exponent is -9. So you're just going to type a -9. It's going to look like
The
that.
minus sign or the one in parentheses?
It's the 1 in parentheses, not -9 to the negative. It's the 1 by the decimal in parentheses. And then hit enter. And my calculator has this funny answer. It says 7E -7. So it's using the EE button also. What that means is 7 times 10 to the -7 exponent. And then the last thing I need to do is make sure that I put meters so that I have it labeled. Just like Miss Rose did, I'm going to cross out nanometers and I'm left with meters, which is what the problem is asking for.
Are you ready to kick it up a notch, Miss Campbell? All right, so here we go. Now we're going to do volume. And so volume is length times width times height. So can you find the given? You might take a second, find the given. I found the given. Or, whoops, wrong color pen here. Let me get to the right color here. 444 centimeters cubed. Isn't centimeters cubed the same as centimeter times centimeter times centimeter? Yeah, centimeters cubed. All right, now if we're going to go to meters, well, gosh, let me see. Here's centi and here's meters. So that means that 1 centimeter equals 1 times 10 to the -2 meters, doesn't it? All right, so can't I just go like this? 1 centimeter, 1 times 10 to the -2 meters. Well, it's centimeter and centimeter, but I don't know what to do this cube, so can I just cancel it out anyway? So can I just put a little cube here and a little cube here? What? So I remember something in math that said if you cube the unit, you also have to cube the number. Is that right? So if we cube the number, can I put parentheses around this? Yeah, sounds good. Now, I'm going to write it out another way down below, just so that we can see what's going on. Okay, so 444 centimeters cubed. And couldn't I say 1 centimeter 10 to the -2 meters times 1 centimeter 10 to the -2 meters times 1 centimeters 10 to the -2 meters. Now they'll all cancel, right? Cancel, 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 and we'll have meters cubed, and our final answer is, or else we're going to leave you hanging here. Hopefully, you know what the final answer is. Good luck with your dimensional analysis homework. You'll find this on the summer assignment.
See you in August.